portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
It was an affair to remember for the management and staff of the Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort in Cable Beach as they put on their Sunday best for the resort's annual Prestige Awards.
Staff members waited in anticipation to hear who would win the big one, the award for the best work performance for 2012. Our Altovise Munnings was there for the announcement.
They dined, danced, and shared love with their colleagues. The 600 staff members of the Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort in Cable Beach eagerly anticipate the annual Prestige Awards. Resort officials go above and beyond to reward team members for a job well done. Staff members vied for 14 different awards, and for many of the winners, the recognition is priceless.
You have to be humble. That's the number one thing. You gotta be humble and you gotta love what you're doing. So regardless of what I'm going through at home, I come here when I reach the back gate, I leave that there. When I come and I'm on stage, I'm an actor from that point on.
14 years dedicated service to Sandals Royal Bahamian. Sandals has been a great place. I appreciate everything they've done. They've taught me a lot, and I was glad I was able to execute and put my work what they taught me into action.
My smile comes naturally. Sometimes I get in trouble for it, but I tell them I born with it.
Momentum mounted across the Sandals Ballroom for the announcement of the resort's most coveted award, Team Member of the Year. That went to Shevar Gibson of the Accounts Department, who was overwhelmed, shocked, and a bit speechless.
Do as good as you can do until you can do better. When you can do better, just do better. So that's what I try to live by. So every day, I try to do the best that I can do.
Very proud of all the staff's hard work and dedication to the resort's success is General Manager Patrick Drake.
We had a remarkable year in 2012. We had lots of promotions. We have persons that have gone on to new departments, totally changing their original roles. So tonight is really a great feeling. The turnout has been fantastic, and you can hear by the applause for all the winners that clearly we made the right choices. So it's a very good feeling.
Altovise Munnings for the ZNS News Network.
The Bahamas National Pride Association launched its first community orchard project in the Victoria Gardens today.
Now, the initiative is expected to promote an appreciation for the environment while encouraging residents to start planting indigenous trees. Our Fern Carey has more.
The Community Orchard Project in Victoria Gardens is an initiative of the Bahamas National Pride Association, and BNPA officials say it is the first step towards changing the landscape in communities throughout the country. Minister of the Environment Kendrick Dossett also noted that the program will play a pivotal role in addressing the issue of food security moving forward.
Having a community garden will hopefully not only produce an outlet for people, but it'll also encourage the residents of tall pines to really get back to basics, start planting trees. And as Minister of Housing, I assure you that every home that we construct, and I could say that happily since NIB has just approved some funding for me to build my 530 some odd homes, every home that we construct will be built with indigenous plant life and fruit trees that we know in this country.
29 indigenous trees have already been planted on a plot of land at the entrance to Victoria Gardens, including soursop, guava, sugar apple, cocoa plum, and oranges. Chairman of the Bahamas National Trust, Olvin Reece, encouraged residents to participate in the program.
Once the fruit begins to bear, don't bring a big wheelbarrow and a box and say, look, you can carry all. The whole idea is to share with each other. If there's a dozen fruits, you take one and share the other 11 with the others. That's what will happen. That's how you start to bond. That's how you start to bring your community back together.
Meantime, Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller indicated that the initiative is timely.
Some of our trees, in fact, will never grow in this country. We simply wouldn't see them. And that's a tragedy, really, that the time that we grew up in, certainly the time I grew up in, that those things that we loved so much and used to take for granted are now gone. And it saddens me, it should sadden every Bahamian, that we're not only losing our culture, but we're losing all that we are.
Now this project belongs to the entire community of Victoria Gardens and is part of an ongoing effort to instill a sense of environmental pride while boosting community spirit. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
The second in a series of Occupy Clifton movement events was held in Jaws Beach this weekend. The group is opposed to the Save Clifton Key organization and its foreign interests. The Occupy Clifton supporters enjoyed Jaws Beach with food, drinks, and calm waters. Code Smith of Occupy Clifton recently indicated that the Clifton Heritage Authority, established by an act of Parliament in 2004, is caught up in a conflict of interest. And he told our news team yesterday that his group has had to dig out sand from a portion of Jaws Beach to ensure residents preserve what's ours.
We have moved more than 3,000 cubic yards of sand out of that particular ramp that was on Clifton, and we've spread it over the beach. Look at how beautiful the beach now looks. I know it really bothers them, but guess what? I'm in the business of achieving whatever it is that's beneficial for our people and what's beneficial for my children and my grandchildren. And I'm not going to allow anybody to keep me or Bahamians off of this beach or off of this place.
After 5 months of intensive research, students participating in the 16th annual Model United Nations sessions were finally able to put all of that research to good use. Some 60 students from around the country presented their platforms for the discussion at the Crown Ballroom over at Atlantis Paradise Island this week. The event is sponsored by the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Carlos Smith, co-chair of the MUNS Committee, says this experience will provide students with the skills to assist them later on in life and also help them in understanding global issues.
MUNS has considerably made a huge marker in terms of the schools and academic and overall. So I think the benefits are tremendous, and we're looking to expand this and hopefully bring about forums that would allow for students and persons of the public to debate and talk about critical issues, not just nationally but internationally.
The event was officially opened by Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell. Now, last year's MUMS winner, SC Boodle graduate Shevar Smith, says the experience was one of a lifetime that helped him to see that the world is much bigger than the Bahamas. He hopes that those participating in this event will have an even better experience. He also offered them just a little bit of advice.
It's a wonderful experience, you know. Preparing for it, it helps us to be knowledgeable of what's going on in our world, help us to develop our minds, get our mind out of the Bahamas, because the world is much bigger than the Bahamas, so it's really helped in that aspect.
Coming up, find out who said yes to the dress.
And a legendary book launch. We have the details coming up. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. Summer is near, and one goal of the Bahamas Electricity Corporation is to keep the lights on and eliminate blackouts. To that end, the company is spending $5 million to have engines reconditioned. BEC Chairman Leslie Miller has been clear that he wants no blackouts this summer. Last month, BEC experienced an island-wide blackout in the capital after an underground fault caused all units to trip offline. The momentum of the $200 million seaside investment opportunity of the Palm Key is continuing. On Wednesday, Palm Key hosted 90 real estate agents from the Bahamas Real Estate Agency, or BREA. Sales and marketing operators announced recently that the company is offering a special incentive, the payment of all stamp tax for a purchase made in the development. That offer expires April 30th. And Market Watch is reporting a jump in oil as it traded above $90 a barrel. The United States government reported that there has been an increase in oil supplies while gasoline stockpiles have decreased. Crude oil for June climbed to $1.89 or 2.1% to $91.07 up to Tuesday. Prices were flat, but this is the highest they've seen since April 12. The U.S. Energy Department reported today that crude supplies rose to 900,000 for the week ending April 19th. Some analysts expected those numbers to tip just above the $1 million mark. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.